Howdy, how's it going today? I'm doing pretty good, thanks. Welcome back to one of our meetings here. Uh, Back at it again today with more scamming information. And I'm bringing this to you because I'm wholeheartedly trying to put as much information out there in front of everybody, for everybody, including you watching this, to be a better person. Uh, I don't want to see any of my customers or our customers or anybody in our community be affected by this. But unfortunately, these scammers are around us every day. Fraudulent people are around us every day, and they don't have to be in front of us. Like I can reach out and shake their hand or anything like that. They're around us online, and that's kind of the topic of today's conversation. Doesn't have to do so much with real estate, but it all kind of ties together nicely and puts things in a nice little bundle for you. So we're going to cover several online scams or scams in general today, and then what to do if you feel like you've been compromised. So again, this will be a little lengthy, but those will be the topics of conversation. So let's get started. First, avoid sending money to someone that you've never met in person. Or you could feel a deep connection with them, right? Like you've learned about them, got their phone number off of a social post or Craigslist or something. Like they're offering something that appeals to you, and you've started a conversation with them via messaging, email, phone call, whatever. Even if you feel a deep connection with them, stay away from sending them money or personal information until you know what you need to know. Okay. Next, I need to make mention of this real quick. Information for this I did not put together myself. It was obtained from the Federal Trade Commission and my friends at Buffini and Company. So I'm just reiterating some information that was put in front of me that I feel is valid and great information to know about. Next, before making online purchases, be on the lookout for too good to be true prices, which is really tough to gauge, especially right now. It's 2023. Things have gotten more expensive. Budgets are getting tighter. People are getting to the ends of their wallets. It's tempting. If you see something that's too good to be true, it's tempting. Be on the lookout for that. Fraudulent people are aware of the emotional reactions right now. And any given economy, any given time, they are aware of the emotional knee-jerk reactions. But times like right now, it's especially present that fraudulent people, scammers, are taking advantage of innocent people. You can sign up for a credit monitoring service and be alerted when there's changes in your credit score. On some of our other videos, we've talked about the importance of credit scores and how that affects your financial health throughout your entire life. By all means, look into those services and see if there's an advantage to that. You've also heard me say take advantage of the one free pull a year from all three credit reporting companies to monitor it yourself. You don't have to go through a third party to monitor your credit. Now think of it this way: if you choose to do it yourself, there's three main companies in the world, right? Or especially for the United States, that do credit monitoring. Maybe you put it on your calendar that you do a credit pull once every 4 months. Three companies times 4, 12 months. So every 4 months you do a credit pull from one credit reporting company. Just check. See if there's anything on there that you don't recognize. that's a great way for yourself to be watching out for your own well-being. You don't need to lean into a credit reporting service if you don't want to, or if you don't want to pay for it. That's okay. Mark it in your calendar. Get a reminder. Whatever you got to do. And then when that reminder surfaces, hey, I'm going to send an email to TransUnion today. I'm going to contact Experian or whatever. Just do that and be responsible for yourself. Next, never share your passwords or bank information. Scammers and fraudulent people, they're looking for ways to get inside your own computer and you're not even paying attention. So don't save your stuff on your computer. Write down your passwords, write down your usernames. You don't have to have them stored electronically. Same with on your phone. Like phones are, they're designed to make your life easier every year. Doesn't mean you need to store your personal information on them. Next one, keep your smartphone safe by keeping the software up to date. Good software companies on a daily basis are having to fight fraud on the backside and scammers. So that's why you see updates coming every day, every week, every month, whatever the system is for that particular software company. Part of it's to assist you and leaving you less vulnerable from cyber attacks. Next, back to your phone, never click a link in a text message from an unknown number. You all get text messages from me if you're in our inner circle, right? You know who we are when we send you a text message. And we specifically say it is from us. Even though you may not have our phone number saved as a contact, you're just going to say, hey, this is Jason from blah, blah, blah. And it goes on. So this is kind of one of those, if you see a link but you don't recognize the number, maybe you pause for a second. You could reverse that phone number on a Google search and see, maybe see where it originated from. Do some due diligence. Apps. This applies to both your computer, your smartphones, tablets, whatever. Beware that apps once installed can steal information right from there. Unless you're reading the disclosures line by line, even if you are reading them, it's going to say in there, this app's going to want your contacts, this app's going to want blah, blah, blah. And the list goes on. The apps you download, you should probably do some research on them before you just randomly download them. Know that they're not stealing information out from the palm of your hand or out from underneath your keyboard from you. QR codes. We use QR codes in our real estate business. They make life really simple. Since the COVID-19 experiment, they've showed up in restaurants. They're menus now. Like some restaurants, you can't even get a fold open menu no more. You got to scan the code and pick from there. Like the world's changed. You and I can't change that, but the world is evolving and changing. QR codes are a part of that. Guess what? Fraudulent people are taking advantage of that system too. So they'll create the QR code and then take you down a rabbit hole, otherwise known as a bogus website, and steal your information just that quick. Cryptocurrency scams. I'm not so familiar with cryptocurrency, but I know it's a big thing out in the world. People are investing in it. There's also scams that come along with that. So unless you've done your due diligence on cryptocurrency and how all that functions, again, I'm not savvy enough to speak on it. If you're not savvy enough, you shouldn't be investing, right? Because some of these scammers are portraying themselves as cryptocurrency websites. and they trick you into the thought of you are investing in said cryptocurrency. I think you better do a lot of hours of research before you pull the trigger on that one. Just my advice. You don't have to take it, but just my advice. Online purchase scams, same. That one's been around since the evolution of the internet. Doesn't matter what platform, Craigslist, any of the social media websites, Pinterest, Etsy, list goes on and on. There's hundreds of them. There's going to be fraudulent people on there too, selling something, because really all you got to do is have an account or a portal, post some pictures, write a narrative. Hey, I got something for sale. Might want to check it out. Do some homework. Do what you can before pulling the trigger. Maybe you should not be buying stuff when you're tired. That it's happened to me. I'll admit to that one. Like online purchase scams, I fell into one of those traps one time. Thank goodness I was using my credit card, not my debit card, and my credit card company caught it like that. I was super thankful for that. I think it was a Visa or a MasterCard. One of the two. Them are the only two cards I carry. But just that quick, like I was in it, I was tired, the purchase looked right. It surfaced on my Facebook feed. There was a sponsored feed, right? Like I could see in the advertisement sponsored, so somebody in the background was paying for that advertisement. It hit my Facebook feed. It was something I was interested in, so of course they targeted me and my interests, and I'll make a purchase. It was about 9:30 at night. Next thing I knew, the bells and whistles were going off on my phone, text messages from the credit card company. Is this you? Are you trying to do this? This is a fraudulent company, blah, blah, blah. Gosh, it was so fast, it was intimidating. But I almost fell in the trap. So even I'm not immune to these things, but my point is, in this story is, if you see something you want to purchase, maybe you should wait till the next day when you got a fresh mind. Ask yourself, one, if you really need it. Two, okay, let's do some research on this company. And then last one, this one's kind of fun. I didn't expect to see this one surface, but I guess it's a big deal. Online dating scams. I've personally never been involved in something like this, so I don't even know what that world looks like. But of course, there would be scammers there in that field. Fraudsters, it says here, fraudsters use online dating apps to cultivate relationship and earn trust. They're marketing themselves to you. Sound familiar? At which point, there's going to be a point in time where they start exploiting you and ask you to buy them something or send them money. Oh, hey, I'm in trouble. And speaking of that scam, this one wasn't even online, but this happened to my grandparents several years ago. Somebody targeted them on their phone, called them, knew that they were elderly, knew that they had grandchildren, pretty smart scammer, and portrayed themselves as, hey, it's Jason and I'm in jail in Mexico. I need you to send me money. Knew my name. Luckily, Granddad was smart enough to ask a question that only him and I would know, all of which the scammer didn't know. Click. And then he turned around and called me the next day. Because it was in the evening, right? They were sitting around watching TV. After supper, relaxing, guard was down. These scammers are talented. They're smart. I'm telling you, you got to be vigilant. That wasn't even an online thing. It was direct phone call. That was a cold call, of all cold calls. Anyway, Hey, it's Jason. Went down to Mexico, got in trouble. I need you to send money, otherwise you're not gonna hear from me again. Like scare tactic 101. Um, yeah. Thankfully, uh, everybody was, the whole family's kind of in tune to scam calls now. Everybody gets them, but that was an interesting story. So anyway, the whole dating thing. This was an interesting statistic. In 2021, it was verified that people lost at least $547 million US dollars. Let me repeat that. 547 million. It's a lot of money to romance scams. Glad I'm not in the dating world. But for those of you that are, or whatever, that's something to be have a watchful eye out for. So what to do? What are you going to do when you've been compromised? This is from the FTC, Federal Trade Commission. Use identitytheft.gov. Again, identitytheft.gov. I'll show it to you here in a minute. To report it to the FTC. Give the feds a heads up on what's going on. That way they can start networking the stuff back to the source of whoever the fraudster is. Notify your financial institution and card holder, aka your credit card service provider, and your banks. So what if you got to go in and get a new debit card? So what if you got to wait a week to get a new credit card from Visa or MasterCard or Discover or whoever you're doing business with? Who cares? Cancel the current one, cut it up, shred it, burn it, do whatever. Get a new one. Pretty hard for fraudsters to keep up with that unless you keep storing your stuff online. And then consider a credit freeze by notifying all 3 major credit reporting companies, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. That is the thing. You can credit freeze your credit score and put them on alert that something's going on out there in the world, that you could be getting scammed, or there's some identity theft or some fraud, whatever. And then, of course, you got to remember to unfreeze it later, because you need to keep building that credit score, because, well, we all need a credit score to obtain loans, unless you're just filthy rich. So anyway, those are 3 hard and fast rules to stick with. I've used them, back to my story on the online purchase at 9:30 at night. Had to get a new credit card. I've had to call up my bank and get rid of some debit cards because I was scared something was happening. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, I don't know, but I've had a couple instances where I felt something was wrong, so I just, hey, you need to cut me a new debit card. They don't care. They'd rather see you do that than worry about chasing down a few $1,000s that you didn't actually spend. So anyway, I'm going to try to show you this checklist right there. So pause the video or take a screenshot. Try to get it to focus there better for you on what to do and who to contact. And yeah, just be proactive and not reactive. Hope this helps. Again, like I said, this is not so much to do with real estate, but just everyday life. And I want to make sure you're taken care of. So if you want to sit down and talk about different stuff, or want to buy or sell real estate, or do whatever, be open for that conversation. If you got a story to share, throw it in the comments. I'm sure all of us have got something to share about something that's happened to us in the past, and how scammers try to reach into our pockets every day, and maybe what you've done to prevent that, or kind of curb that a little bit. So anyway, catch you on the next video. Talk to you later.